Episode 17, almost legal. D4G.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving in glory.
Yo, what up, my Ultra D4Gers? Welcome to Diving for Glory, episode 17. It's your host, Corciola, on a win streak. Unprecedented competition is mincemeat. Got beef? Josie, please miss me. Forget me, just don't come to my locker room and try to stick me. Sir Solomon, what up?
Hey.
You. Alright, this week, Manchester Derby. The Lord have Merseyside Derby. Beautiful nothingness in Italy. Champs League roundup, Champs League draw reviewed, love the Miller Lite Soccer Cup, Valencia keeps pace, and a couple upsets to cover this episode. Alright, jerseys tucked, boots lace, milk thrown, music blasting, sounds like a derby. Don't forget, man, D4G posts every Tuesday on iTunes and divingforglory.com. Follow us on Twitter at divingforglory. Alright, enough promos, on to the match.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah, alright, back four. Let's get it on. The biggest derby, some would say, in the world. United hosting Manchester City went down 1-2. Tell us about it, Sir Solomon.
Yes, indeed. So United, in the great city of Trafford, to host Manchester's apparently real team, Manchester City. And it was actually a fucking awesome game. I really enjoyed watching this game. It's one of the rare big games and derbies that just hasn't evolved into a shit game. Like, there were opportunities, they did their thing, there was controversial moments. It was a game that kind of had it all.
It was in
other than good goals.
I was going to say, in 3 trashy goals, man.
Yes.
That's how it works sometimes in derbies, man.
Lukaku dropping dimes, yo.
Yeah.
To the other team.
Yeah, for real. 2-up. So with all that being said, this game pretty much went according to plan. City dominated possession. City had more opportunities. City did what they do. United sat back, played aggressive, tried to counter. I mean, there was nothing surprising here, really.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprising game, but it was what we anticipated was to see what would be more effective. Funnily enough, I'd like to mention that I thought it would end 2-1 City.
Okay. I had 3-1 City.
I remember. But at the game time, I kind of bitched out and said, like, it might be 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Which it could have been.
It could have been if Ander Herrera's dive had been accepted.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. So, a dive, definitely, yes?
It was a dive.
Absolutely. He was like, oh, his foot is there. I'm just going to trip over it.
Oh, and then the defense I love is nobody has got more yellow cards for diving than us. That is unacceptable. Stop diving, dude.
Stop diving. It's not that they're judging you, homie. You're doing
not
something.
A conspiracy. I'm just doing it.
Yay.
Badly.
Also, man, United could have also pulled back if it wasn't for Ederson's fucking throat or his grill in a way.
Dude, Ederson.
Whew. Ederson looks like he's taken a couple punches to the face and just kept coming because that's what he took. He
looks like hitman of one of the favelas in Rio. He's huge. He's the dude that when Mourinho walked in to tell him to shut the fuck up, confronted him, and I'm sure Mourinho was like, abort mission, abort.
You don't play that, son. You don't walk in our favela over here, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not how it goes.
Like Gaza.
But that was huge moment in the game. Again, like you said, exciting moments in the game.
But the setup of the team, and if you look at the who scored ratings, and it was generally higher quality football than we've seen this season in the Premier League. And they were both teams trying to, like you said, one trying to shut them down and the other team trying to pass it together. But what I didn't understand about Mourinho is, like, how much of a fucking pussy are you? Like, he tried to give us this illusion. Everybody's like, he put out an ultra attacking side. He put Martial, Jesse Lingard, Romelu Lukaku, and Rashford, right? In the 4 front rows. But behind them, he has just Matic and Ander Herrera. Like,
Yep.
pull out one of those big dudes to run. Like, he wants to defend and shoot it fast in attack. Like, he has completely neglected the part of the field that the most football happens in.
the middle.
That is where you, like, that's where the game is generally played.
Well, I was just gonna make the comment.
Like, heat maps, everything.
I was just gonna make the comment that obviously Pogba looked like he would have made a huge difference in his game.
Yeah, but he's a fucking cunt. Like, why you gonna do that shit?
Well,
Like, I can't
mean,
be like, well, if they could, they, like,
well,
just
no,
the
it
team
just
he
goes to
had,
your-
and
but it goes to your point of the midfield of him addressing nothing in the midfield. Mkhitaryan can't even get on the fucking bench anymore. Mata was a substitute.
he completely destroyed Mkhitaryan. I think, like, if you had Matic, Herrera, and Mata a little forward instead of Jesse Lingard,
Yeah.
which in this particular game, Jesse Lingard fucking blew, but like he had a couple of good games, so I guess he felt he had to put him in.
Yeah.
But I would have put in somebody to just step on the ball and just look around and make passes. This is a little too frantic, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't think I've really gotten your opinion on this. Like, we obviously know part of this is because of Josie and the way he chooses to play, also the makeup of their team. But what is your real opinion on Lukaku with his two goals in 14 games, continuing to not score against the Big Six? I mean, is this really indicative of the type of player that he is, or is he just a victim of circumstance here with formations and coaching?
It's a bit of both. He is he's a guy for the big wins, you know? Like, if you win 5-0, he might have a hat-trick, but in the big games, like, it's ridiculous, his stats. Like, he has, I think, 5 goals in big games in like 40 games his whole career, you know? And if you look at numbers of like Jamie Vardy, who has like 19 goals against the Big Six, and just general, like, the best strikers score at least close to their percentage. I understand the big teams are harder to score against because they're better.
No.
But you can't just fall off the map. That being said, why do you have a man like Lukaku, 6'5", out there, and you're trying to like play it on the ground so much? Like, just might as well just like put in good wingers and cross it.
Yeah, he's sure not a Drogba either. It's not. I mean, he's huge, but it's like you just can't kick it to him like you would have used, like he used to do Drogba, and let Drogba do his thing.
They're just both, they hail from Africa. That's the only thing him and Drogba have, and he's big.
Yeah,
But
But and Josie played them in the similar manner. That's all I was getting at there.
yeah, but it seemed like
two different skill sets, man.
Yeah, it's like Arsene Wenger plays Giroud in the same position he played Henry. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make him Henry.
Yeah, for sure. So, just a brief recap of some of the happenings in the game. KDB, beautiful game again, continues.
I disagree.
Same. No way.
I don't think he had one of his highest games.
That
fast break to Sane, he completely fucked it up. He should have made that play. That was as good as done. It's like missing the dunk. I thought he had a kind of okay game, but he was one of the guys that I thought would actually step up more for this game.
Okay. I see it the other way. But either way, I thought Rashford was nice in attacking him. He was a threat.
Yes.
When he got the ball. Also,
I agree, and I think
Otamendi had a great game.
Yes. Otamendi, funnily enough, since the end of September, has double the amount of goals that Romelu Lukaku has. He has 4 to Lukaku's 2.
Yeah, he's been playing awesome.
Prolific.
He's been playing awesome. But to your point about KDB, it wasn't his best game. You're right. I just felt like, the good run still continues. I didn't feel like it was a shit game at all.
Oh, no. He worked hard.
Yeah.
And he put in the runs, and I like that he kept grinding and trying, even though it wasn't
gave him
working.
But he gave him a lot of space.
Yeah, he did. But I expected him to have on target shots, proper, just dominated a little more than what he did. There was space to be had because the offensive 4 and the defensive 6 were so separate for Manchester that I thought he would really, really thrive in this game and have a goal or an assist, actual impact, And he didn't do that. He actually fucked up his assist. And that was, in these big games, that moment where he fucked up that fast break is huge.
Yeah. Okay. And the most unsurprising moment of the game, Vincent Kompany went off injured.
And the most surprising moment of the game, Mangala came in and we didn't even notice.
Man, that was classic.
You know,
He played all right.
it was fine.
So all this means that City go 11 points clear. They're on a 14-game win streak. It's the longest single season win streak ever, and is tied for the longest between two seasons with Arsenal 2003, I believe. Question: do you think they can go undefeated?
No,
I don't either.
they just lost this week to Shakhtar.
Yeah, or about
So lesser teams than some of the big six. So I can't believe it, you know.
Yeah, but he trotted out like the B team on Shakhtar. But I agree.
That's fine. He
They're
had
gonna
a team
lose.
that he put out that lost.
They're gonna lose a game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
It takes so much luck to have a whole season where you score at least one more goal than your opponent, however good it is, you know?
Yep. So one other thing I want to ask you is, moving into this break here with this string of games, they are without John Stones. They will be without Vincent Kompany, apparently. So that means that Mangala is definitely about to get some burn here.
Yeah.
If anything happens to Mangala or Otamendi, now they're moving Fernandinho back. They're fucking around with their whole line. Is there any chance that the defensive, whatever, thinness of the back line can derail the title run?
Yes. Getting through the Christmas season in English football is one of, I would say, the most challenging stretch, where the pretenders and the contenders really make, you know, their moves.
Yeah.
So City has to maintain from now to, like, you know, January, whatever, when the rest of Europe comes back, when England is busy as fuck. City got to maintain, and to do it 3 games a week, I mean 2 games every, like, what, a game every 3 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it might hurt them.
The only saving grace outside of the Tottenham game is that they have a bunch of low table opponents, but that doesn't matter. You can still get got easy.
Matter. Some days the ball just won't cross the line, man.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
There's those games.
For sure, and there's other days when Mangala crosses it for you. But that is what we're looking at coming up. United 3 points up on Chelsea. They're still in second place. Their 3rd loss of the season. Who is your man of the match?
My man of the match for this game was Ederson.
Ederson. Hey, I had him down as possible as well.
Yes.
Who scored had Otamendi?
Yes, I saw his. I mean, well deserved. He had 8.1 on Who Scored.
Yeah, I think so.
And he really did his job. But I don't know, the Manchester United goal, I can't. Like that break was ridiculous defending, so I can't give it to anybody on the defense, you know. Whereas Ederson just fucking faced the ball.
My personal, actually, David Silva is my man of the match. He had
a good match.
A beast out there.
Yeah, when in a game in which both Sané and KDB, I thought, were like a slightly off their pace, Silva really took it to the team. He was even getting in fights and everything.
Like, Sané had too much sauce last game, dude. Like,
no ketchup,
hold up, homie.
just sauce.
But you know, man, like the thing with Silva, and this is like with all that talent that they have, is like he's the dude that breaks down the teams that sit back, that put 10 behind the ball. He's the one dude that really will break that down.
When he gets the ball on one of the two, like closer to the sidelines, and makes his horizontal runs, how Sané and KDB run vertically, and he goes with the ball along, like he exposes teams if you're not on it. And this was his kind of game. If you sit down, if you sit back and just say play soccer, that's what David Silva came to do.
So crazy with all that talent that comes down to David Silva.
Dude, that's a lot of talent right there.
No, it is. But I'm just saying, like one player, like.
Are we gonna talk about the fact that they didn't even have to polish off Sergio Aguero?
That was beautiful, man. That was love right there.
Like, why he was in the team photo in the dressing room after the game. I think that might be what pissed off Mourinho. He's like, why the fuck you got that dude?
Oh man, we're gonna cover that situation a little bit later. Let's move on, man. Let's go on to Spain. We're going to cover Second place, Valencia, hosting Celta Vigo with a 2-1 win. This was big for them. They kept pace with Barcelona, who had a 2-0.
It was a big game for them. I like how Valencia are playing this year. Marcelinho has them doing their thing. I told you before about the diet program and the strict exercise regimen and nutritionist and all that, and weights. And if you're past like 8% body fat, you don't get to start, you know?
Yep.
This game, Celta Vigo, if you remember, we talked about them at the Barca game, and they were at the time, I don't know exactly what they are now, but at the time they were the third best offense in La Liga, and they showed it, like statistically dominated Valencia.
Yeah, dominated possession.
By a lot, 60% to 39.2%.
Yeah.
Passing accuracy, they have 86%. Dribbles completed, like 16 to 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The only stat that Valencia was better at them at, and this is where you know a coach is good, they were only dispossessed 8 times to Celta Vigo's 13.
Oh, wow.
That's coaching.
Yeah.
And that Kondogbia Parejo midfield, like they held it down, but Iago Aspas was a fucking pain.
What did Parejo? I feel like I've seen Parejo somewhere else. Do you know where he came from?
Spain.
Really?
No, all
No.
I've known of
Okay.
Danny Parejo is when he's been at Valencia. You
Okay.
probably watched him in like the Barca.
Yeah, maybe
game or
that's
something.
yeah, for sure. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue on.
But him and Jeffrey Kondogbia, he was in Inter last season. In the middle of the park are really nice. Kondogbia puts in the physical but still makes the plays. Danny Parejo is a classic Spanish number 10. Just likes the ball at his feet and making plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had a goal of a penalty and assisted on the second goal. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah.
Danny Parejo kind of took the team on his shoulder. And in the second half, when they brought in Santi Mina, who plays really nice with Danny Parejo, Valencia started to click. They took advantage of the few chances they had. But Iago Aspas, I think he was ex of Liverpool, but he plays for Celta, and you saw him in the Barca game.
Yeah.
He is fucking dynamo, man. He's constantly running at people. He's like a poor man's Dybala.
Hey.
Dybala himself right now is a poor man's Dybala, but
Hey, for sure. So this is again a huge, big match for Valencia, man. They keep pace. They're second place, 5 points back of Barcelona. All the big four won, so nothing really changed. But they're still up on Real. They're still up on Atletico. Celta Vigo stays tied for 10th, even though they're only 3 points out of the relegation zone. That's how tight it is down there. That's what he said. And but yes, Celta Vigo still in there. Man of the match, man.
that last sentence was the man of the match.
I couldn't even help it. I tried
Danny
to
Parejo. I saw you try to fucking
try to stop
bob
it. I
and
was
weave
like,
around him, and you're like, nah, we
oh,
got
fuck it.
Danny Parejo has to be man of the match.
Yeah, I think so. Goal and assist and a 2-1 victory.
Like,
Yeah.
he really controlled large parts of like Valencia's attacking moves. He did what exactly you want out of your playmaker.
Hey.
I like those kind of players. That's why I was hyped about Nabil Fekir.
Yeah.
Guys that are like almost a traditional playmaker, you know.
Yeah. Nabil Fekir, no doubt. Speaking of Nabil Fekir, let's talk about Lyon. Move on. Francais. SC Amiens. What is that, like Friends or some shit? The Friends versus the Lyon. They hosted.
Apparently, you're not supposed to be friends with Lions because they got fucked. Yeah.
Yay. So Lyon with the 2-1 victory away. Tell us about it.
Lyon has been really fun to watch this season just because my Paris Saint-Germain is kind of just trying to put the league away. Lyon is at a distance. We have to give them respect because if Manchester United and all of them can still kind of be talked about as being in it with Man City, then Lyon has as much claim to the French league, right?
Yep.
But
9
I
points.
like their program more than PSG's. Like,
Okay.
I'm not saying it's more effective. I'm saying what I like to see. It's a bunch of guys that are grazed together and like smaller money additions that are kind of projects, and you just do shit, you know?
Yeah.
So they play a 4-2-3-1 in this game against Amiens, which is like it's a nice formation to have, especially in like away games. You have the double pivot in the front. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But their front, like their three behind the attacker, Fakir, Memphis Depay, and Cornet are just ultra fucking creative, and that's where it all comes to. And when Mariano up front has been a fucking revelation this season.
Okay.
But despite that,
They were down in
Yes.
the 9th minute on some fuckery, though.
this game featured mucho fuckery.
Similar to the Manchester Derby, man. Three questionable goals.
Yes, questionable is a very diplomatic way to put it. They're not questionable goals. They are actual, literal, very good goals in terms of there is no doubt about them. They're not controversial.
Yeah.
But the defense is laughable.
Yeah.
Like, if you were playing a walk-on game, whatever, pickup game, like you might get kicked out of the team. You might get slapped for letting a goal like that go in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they go behind to that, but they produce some ridiculousness of their own and tie them.
Oh, for sure. Way later in the game. Like, they were down 1-0 in the 9th minute. It took them until, I believe, the 74th minute to
And in the
equalize.
meantime, look at this.
79th minute.
You want to know about that dribbles completed?
Yes.
Amiens 22-9.
Wow.
Yeah, Lyon stole this one, bruh.
Yeah, it looks like it. They, let's see. Amiens had more shots on goal.
Yeah.
And they had a penalty that they missed.
And they were just clumsy. They would do like really beautiful plays and intricate moves, get past their guy and just kick the ball away. It felt a lot like just watching the African Cup of Nations. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
But out of all this,
After all this, equalizing, take it to the 94th minute.
yes, where if you thought the equalizing goal was ridiculous, the guy who scored it apparently has a penchant for scoring ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
Picked up on this goal, which was kind of hilarious, but when they crossed it to him, how he finished it,
Yay.
respect, good.
Yeah,
Hosam Awar.
yeah, the cross and the finish. I'm down with that. Like, the lead up to it was mighty sketchy and almost on the level of some.
They almost knocked each other out. They almost
Yeah, I
ran
was just
into
gonna
each
say it was like Three Stooges, dude.
You know what it looked like? The Lyon strikers looked like those two defenders that were trying to stop Messi and banged into each other in the Villarreal game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is. But my man finished it off, 94th minute. So sad. SC Amiens.
Yeah. We'll talk about him again next season. Bye.
Yes. Holla.
You want us to talk about you? Beat Monaco or PSG?
So again,
And yes.
yeah, go ahead.
No.
All right, I was just gonna recap. Lyon remains second, 9 points back of.
Oh, hold on.
Go ahead. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I thought you were going to ask about the man of the match.
Oh,
man.
I will. Let me recap real quick. Lyon remains second, 9 points back of victorious PSG, tied with Monaco and Marseille at 35 points. SC is 11th place, but again, only 3 away from relegation. Man of the match. Obvious.
Hosam Awar.
Oh,
Awar.
what?
Yeah. A what?
Yeah.
Say what?
Yay, what a
He got
9.0.
Huh?
A 9.0 on who scored.
I thought 8.8.
Okay.
But that's the same.
Maybe they updated it, man.
They're like, you know what? That one time, nah. Take off 0.2.
We went back.
Either way, man of the match. Nabil Fekir actually didn't have that good of a game, and so it was nice to see him do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the French league is fucking shit. It must be said. What did Joey Barton say?
French league is quite boring.
It's kind of boring.
The one criticism of the French league is it's a little bit boring.
Oh, well, thanks.
From a
thanks,
man
Joey.
who called Thiago Silva
From
an
the-
overweight ladyboy.
From the man who makes it more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, he'll beat up somebody if they're not,
It's more exciting. Well, that's what goes on anyway in a lot of those games. Anyway,
Yep.
let's move on, man, to what I titled earlier, Beautiful Nothingness in the Italian League, Serie A.
And I was making random conversations, hoping we just get to avoid this section.
So
Yes.
with the top 4 teams scoring a combined 0 goals, let's go ahead, man. Give us a brief recap of what went down.
It was a weekend that was so bad that the Juventus president told Paulo Dybala to settle his personal issues.
Okay.
Afterwards, he gave a press conference saying, because he's off form, he's like, go fix your life, bitch, basically.
Yeah.
But Juve, Inter, Mario Mandzukic, Samir Handanovic. These are not Italian names, but that matchup was kind of the most interesting of at least the first half. Mandzukic had quite a few opportunities, hit the crossbar once, hit a couple at Handanovic, the goalkeeper of Inter, who had a really good game, and João Miranda, who plays the defense for Inter also, like, had a goal line clearance. They held on. Juve had 19 shots with 8 on target, right? Inter had 6. They were not interested. They came to take a point.
Take a point.
They had that Brozovic chance in the second half, but like even that was half-hearted. Like they had to show it to you because it was they didn't have enough highlight.
Hey, but kudos to them. They took a point away to a contender. So absolutely.
I get what you're saying, but
Still
the way
top of the table.
Juventus has been playing lately, I would have tried a little more with Perisic and Mauro Icardi to kind of take it to them a little bit. I think there were 3 points to be had. It was a bitch approach, and they got a point. Be happy.
Yeah, still top of the table.
Because nobody moved.
Well, nobody moved. So Napoli-Fiorentina ended 0-0.
Yes. And also bored people to death.
As did Verona versus Roma. 0-0.
Kiev over Verona, because there's another club called also just Verona from that city.
Okay.
So it's Kiev over Verona against Roma. Roma actually is like very wasteful. Agent Dzeko should have had like at least 2 goals. Like they seemed like the Moans presented it to themselves, and they found out about results and they choked. That's what that means.
Gotcha. All right, so that leaves the Italian league stand. Well, hold up, real quick. Out of all those teams, AC Milan.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd mention
2-1 over Bologna. First,
that's no baloney.
just so you know, I did that on purpose. But
Yo, big up, Mike.
Yeah.
Your second team around the world has won.
Hey, AC Milan 2-1 with our boy, the new coach.
Yes, Rino Gattuso,
Yeah,
known for such great feats as slapping his assistant coach, slapping his teammate on the bench, putting his teammate into a trash can.
No,
stuff like that. Or getting put into a trash can.
Yeah, put into
Sorry,
a trash can.
By Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's a fucking hero.
Yes, I had that down so we could mention that story.
So he finally gets his first league victory for AC Milan. His first 2 games, he lost one. I mean, he tied with the fucking goalkeeper flying header, and then they got fucked up in the Europa. Like, this is an interesting start to the campaign, but I still think that Rino Gattuso he'll either fix things or he'll slap the guys that need to be slapped, and I'm very excited that that's happening in AC Milan.
Man,
right
if
now.
that's your coach, dude, that's a trip.
Dude,
That's
he has to ball out.
it's like having Bobby Knight as your coach, homie.
A young Bobby Knight.
So a brief Italian recap, man. That leaves Inter top of the table with 40 points, undefeated still, 12-4-0. Napoli a point behind, 39. Juve at third with 38 points, and Roma fourth place, 35 points with the game in hand. So tight race, man. Tight race. Looking fun over there still.
Roma's game in hand is against, I think, Sampdoria. It was a game that was postponed, and Sampdoria has taken some scalps this year, and I think that might be an interesting game, because if Roma win, that shit is going to get tight.
Roma super excited by Champions League as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yes, sir.
We're going to move on from the midfield. We're going to talk about the rest of the EPL. A lot of games going on, a lot of results happening, a lot of interesting things going down in the PM, the Premier League.
What's up in the PM?
Goes down in the PM. Anyway,
Sliding in the PM.
EPL review, man. We're gonna run through some of these results, talk about what they mean, and I think the biggest one outside of the game we covered, the Manchester Derby, is going to be Chelsea taking an L to West Ham. Moyes getting his first win.
Yes, Moyes, at the end of the game, looked like they were better prepared of the two coaches. His team looked better, up for it. Chelsea looked quite lethargic, and Bakayoko sucked.
Bakayoko. Word.
Arnautovic goal steals it, though. Arnautovic, sometimes he's not a bitch, sometimes he is.
Sometimes he is. Yeah, man. So Chelsea losing pace there, 14 points back. West Ham still in relegation zone, but getting that win. The Merseyside Derby. Liverpool hosting Everton, 1-1. That is a questionable PK, man.
No. That was a penalty kick. It was questionable decision making, but you know what they look for. If you make shoulder contact, you might get a pass. But when the referee, with speed, watches you put your hand on the back of somebody and push him, that's gonna get called. I don't care how soft it is. Like, that's the argument with it. But like this, they're moving, they're all running, and the only thing that they see is that your hand went up. Like, that's hand fouls are gonna get called a lot.
I just feel like it was a 50-50. I've seen definitely more happen and not get called.
Yeah, and I've seen
but I also
people dive and get penalties also. But,
for sure.
You know,
but
there's
I
everything.
I also think he's a victim of reputation as well. He's like, Lovren?
I think he's a victim of being Dejan Lovren.
That's what
That was
I'm
a
saying.
dumbass play. No, to himself. He acts like himself too much.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, that's his reputation. That's who he is. Like, well,
So he
he
decided
definitely
he's
fouled him.
He's like, might as well. They're going to think I fouled him anyways.
Oh, man. So, another 1-1 draw.
But Mo Salah, respect. This week, this season, as it goes along, he's showing he's a fucking
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Yes.
Like, he's not the most efficient striker, but
He's becoming more and more efficient
he's
by the game, too, though. Like, I mean, he does.
baller.
Yeah. I mean, he is a chucker. He's going chuck.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
fun to watch.
But speaking of somebody who does it in a lot less chances, Olivier Giroud comes through. Giroud the damager.
Giroud the damager.
Ties the Arsenal 1-1 with Southampton.
Yeah.
They needed that.
They really had to make that move, but like, I think, like, even with the 1 point, that was extremely disappointing. They deserve to get the same treatment that Chelsea got. You see, like, Liverpool played a really good game against an opponent that was up for it and dropped points. They stole 2 precious points from a very good Southampton team. Giroud did his thing, respect to him, but Alexis Sanchez needs to go fuck himself and go home. He's not a professional, dude. You're supposed to be playing. Like, he's a fucking turnover machine.
Yeah. He's had a bad year, man.
He's like having to
trash.
fucking stomp around and acting like a little bitch out there. Why don't you score, you fuck?
Yep. So, also, Tottenham, their arch rivals, smashed Stoke 5-1. They needed
You just
that.
got caned!
Just got caned. If you are browsing YouTube, go ahead and type that in. You just got caned, and thank me later. Anyway.
Or don't. I mean, search it. Just don't.
But Tottenham needed that, man. It's been a bad month or so.
Yes. Goal difference being a tiebreaker in England apparently is news to some. And to fix your ship, you can make back a lot of games worth of not points but goals by beating Stoke. You fucking do it. And Tottenham, I like that they did this because their upcoming game we'll discuss soon is nice, and I like that they've turned it around, put a lot more excitement in them because they were laughable for a month and a half.
Wanyama coming back, that'll help.
Yes, but Toby isn't until February.
That hurts. It's tough out there. It's tough out there when you don't sign anybody. All All right.
There's no bacon in the lane.
Another good game, actually, man, was Newcastle-Leicester. Leicester 3-2 with the own goal, the 86-minute own goal.
Like, this was such a roller coaster ride for especially Newcastle fans. They take the lead early, and then they go 2-1 down and fight back to get the 2-2. And then the substitute gets the own goal in injury time?
No,
sorry, in the 84th.
86.
86.
86 minutes.
86 minutes with like nothing to do is a sad turn of events, but I enjoyed watching it.
Newcastle's been sliding down the table. Leicester's 3 straight wins. They've been moving up the table. They're sitting about 8th now.
Leicester is a better team than Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely. No. That's good to see, though.
Yeah. I'd like to see the talents rise. No?
Speaking of midfield or mid-table, battle of the mid-table wonders. Burnley over Watford 1-0. 45th minute red card. Not 45th minute. 39th minute red card. Kind of defined this game. And a 45th minute goal by Arfield was all there was to speak about. Burnley now moves to...
I called them the battle of the successes, and I was like, nice, Burnley beat Watford. One of their no-name white guys scored. Congratulations, Burnley!
Burnley, my man Zigar from Watford got a straight red, and Burnley mustered up a goal very shortly after. Dude, I just brought that like, that's significant to me. Burnley sitting there is the same amount of points as Tottenham right now, 28. They're tied for 7th.
They'll drop more points as the season goes along because they're a very small team, and they can't. Like, to survive the season, it's very, very, very hard with like such a small squad. So I don't expect them there, but I think they'll be in one of the Europa spots, like 7th or something, depending on how it goes. Exciting team.
Yeah.
Actually, not exciting team. Exciting storyline. Very boring team to watch.
Yeah. Battle of the new promotees, Huddersfield defeating Brighton and Hove Albion. Hove to
Benson and Hedges Albion.
Yeah. 2-0 Huddersfield. Man, they're making their play to stay up. Also in the relegation battle, the Swans defeated West Brom. West Brom is just trash.
Dude, West Brom is nosediving. I told you about their predicament. They're decent at defense. If they try to send more than one guy up to attack, then they're gonna receive 6 goals.
Yeah. Yep. Palace with their 3rd straight draw. We'll cover a little bit more about that later.
Yes. But before we go onto that part of it, the Jermaine Defoe double, big respect.
Oh, yay.
Bournemouth.
Sure.
Like,
old ass dude.
Yeah, I know y'all paying him £3 million a year after tax, but hey, those 2 goals might save you at the end of the year, so it might be worth it.
He's gonna be Jermaine Defoe very soon. But Palace back to 20th place, man. So I love that West Ham and the Swans and Palace all got points and even wins, and they're still all in relegation zone. Everton up to 10th. Just wanted to mention that as well.
Yes, Everton was at 10th. They just kind of stayed there because they got a point.
That's right, but I mean, like, since...
Yeah, Big Sam, like, they hired him. They didn't even take a training when they turned it around. Yeah. Wayne Rooney is scoring... dude, Wayne Rooney has as many goals as Romelu Lukaku.
Oh, it's tough out there.
Why did you get rid of Wayne Rooney? You could have used him. With that service, you'd have got even a little better, maybe.
For a lot cheaper, too, man. Speaking of...
A lot less peanuts.
Who's verifying that, man?
That girl from the bathroom.
Alright, man. Let's move on. Enough of the EPL, man. Champs League roundup. So this was match day 6. So everything is to be decided that wasn't already. We're going to give you a rundown, and then for the next section, we're going to cover the knockout draws. Alright? So first things first, man. We started it with a loss. We started it with a win by City. Let's start it with their first loss of the campaign. Shakhtar 2-1 over City means Napoli's out, and they lost fucking anyway to Feyenoord. Done.
Yes. Shakhtar, well played. And City just put out
A B team.
Yeah, but City's B team is full of fucking national team starters and like big timers. But yeah, they got the points. It was more than the team he put out. There wasn't an urgency to it because you don't chase around shit in a game that you know you don't need, you know?
Yeah, no.
And Shakhtar worked. They wanted to stay in Europe.
Yep.
Respect to them.
Yeah.
But Napoli, like, they just... I think the coach figured that their squad is good enough to just only compete in Italy, so they never showed up in most of the European competition. They started it too late, you know?
Yep. Moving on, man. Porto 5-2 over Monaco. That means they're in. Leipzig's out. That's a pretty big win. Monaco laid it down. Looked like makes sense.
Yeah, fuck Leipzig and their Red Bull conspiracy, man.
Yeah, man. Red Bull poison. I guess I'll never get that endorsement.
Which Porto is a team that was just manifested out of nothing to dominate Portugal. It was previously Sporting Lisbon and Benfica, but some rich guy did the same thing at Porto. That is being done at RB. So, okay. But
word up.
Big up Porto. RB, I don't know what I'm to advance ever since that dude at the Besiktas game, Timo Werner, decided it was too loud for him. I was like, all right, y'all don't deserve it.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Holla. Liverpool, 7-0 smashing of Spartak. That means they win the group and move on to the knockout round.
Is Liverpool ever going to win a 1-0?
I do. No, they
just a 1-0, man. Like one game, please.
Nope. I wonder if they have one.
Gotta have the E40. Nope.
1-1.
5-0. Yep.
United 2-1 over CSKA, which means they win the group. Basel's also through with a 2-0 over Benfica.
Yes.
Basel, go ahead.
I like Basel because they remind me of Basil Fawlty and the Fawlty Towers. Old English show, big up, John Cleese.
Chelsea draw Atletico. That means that Atletico will not go through. Chelsea will not win the group, and Roma went through as the group winner.
Roma deserve a good group winner. They outplayed Chelsea in both games they played against each other. And Atletico, Chelsea should have put that game away, but
they're going to pay for that.
I mean, I
sure
hope so.
Seems like it.
Hope so.
To not give away too much, you probably already know. But either way, so Barcelona win the group 2-0 with a 2-0 win over Sporting CP. Bayern get revenge.
Hold on. You're not gonna mention that Barca used their B team if we mention that.
Okay. They had already won the group though, hadn't they?
But it's just surprising to see that a team that needed points played against a team that didn't need points, who benched their guys and still got beat. That was interesting.
Oh, show. Interest noted. Word up. Bayern revenge 3-1 over PSG.
Yeah, it would have been much better revenge if they had actually beat them straight up like 4-0 and won the group. But yeah, they showed their in current form better. About a month and a half ago, PSG was the better team. Yep. Now Bayern is.
Yep.
By February, a lot is going to change.
But you know, there's a twist of irony to that right there, man. So you would figure, hey, PSG wins the group, yay, they're going to get the better draw, they're going to play all the second place teams. But let's transition on to the next section, which is the Champions League knockout draws.
You understand?
Yeah. So PSG ends up drawing two-time defending champion Real Madrid in what is arguably the biggest match up of this round.
Yes, the realist and the real deal Holyfield.
That's huge.
Dude, I like neither one of these teams. They're both fucking powerhouses. I'm tired of seeing Madrid go through the knockout stages with only playing Atletico Madrid at some point. I want to see them play a big opponent.
Yes, me too.
And this is an exciting matchup. And the best part about it, in Europe, this will provide quite a conundrum for a lot of men in relationships because one of the games is going to be on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Damn. So that means Bayern, by consequence, ends up with Besiktas, which would be kind of viewed as a kind draw considering who they could have had.
Yes, Turkish teams are interesting because although not as talented, like they do have talent, like slightly past their prime talent, like they're like the Marshalls or Ross of the fucking clubs, you know?
Yeah.
But they still got the talent. But the thing is, you have to get through that away game in Turkey. Because that
always tough.
is like, if you think there's home court advantage and shit, like in Turkey they show you big ass signs with flares that say "Welcome to Hell" as you're walking in.
Yeah. I was reading about that. Like there was some.
Dude, I think like every 4-year-old has a fucking flare in the fucking place.
Dude, there was the one story. I forgot what the team was, but they were like attacked by like security, like you know what I'm saying, like officials of the team.
The last Turkey against Switzerland World Cup qualifier, Switzerland won it. And there was pandemonium, and they were running off the field, and security guards were fucking them up.
Damn.
Welcome to Turkey.
Welcome to Turkey.
Yeah, you know, Americans, you think Ottoman is just a couch.
Yeah.
It was an empire.
But,
crazy folk out there.
Yeah, for sure, man. But considering current form, but these matches are 2 months away, so it's definitely hard to pick. But current form, you would think Bayern would go through. The other huge match, in my opinion, in the knockout round is Barcelona hosting Chelsea. We owe you motherfuckers.
This year's Champions League draw is full of intriguing matches.
Absolutely.
Like Barca Chelsea. You know, in 2009, Messi gave an interview saying in this locker room there are maybe more players that hate Chelsea more than they hate Real Madrid. Like, this is a rivalry. One of the rare things these days, like international rivalry. They've played a lot against each other, very contentious. Barca is always better. Chelsea sucks balls. Nah, I'm just playing, that's unprofessional. But like, it's gone back and forth, and the last one, Chelsea won. They won the Champions League after it.
2012, yeah.
And then after that, they've been busy dallying in the Europa Cup and not in Europe at all and all that shit. So, welcome back to the big boy table.
Yay! So, interesting stat we must mention, man, is that Lionel Messi, him of like 7 million goals, has never scored one on Chelsea.
Yep.
Sucked.
That is, and got a penalty in a semi-final of the Champions League and missed it.
In the game that we talked about, right? The 2012.
Yes.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah.
That whole game.
I think that year Chelsea was destined to win it, because how often does Messi miss a penalty in the Champions League semi-final, followed by Robin misses a penalty in the final?
Dude, like
the odds of those two happening individually, although Messi's penalty taking last couple of seasons has been kind of iffy.
And they had like what was it, against Napoli or something? They were down like 3-0 and they had to come back and win like 4-0, and they did in the second leg. Like there was like a string, like whatever, man. Fuck Chelsea, fuck them. Barcelona Chelsea, man, that's gonna be exciting.
You seem salty, son.
Dude, that one hurt, man. That one hurt.
Man City fans got little brother syndrome like a motherfucker.
Man. So, keeping Premier League in mind, dude, another intriguing matchup gonna be Juventus versus Tottenham.
Yes, this is actually... Tottenham plays a very Italian league kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
And except they have Harry Kane up front. And Juve have the Higuain and Dybala combination. It's going to be an excellent match, I think. I think this is going to be one of the better ties. I would say Real PSG being top, Chelsea Barca, followed by Spurs Juve.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I'd venture to say probably United Sevilla. A little bit of intrigue there.
Not if Sevilla don't fix their shit.
Sevilla was playing good until this weekend. They had made a little bit of a...
They've got blitzed quite a few times in this season.
But they were playing well up to that point, man. They were hanging tough in there, in the top 5 in La Liga.
They excite me. I'm just talking from a position of disappointment. I expected more out of them, and they've been kind of... Like, I thought they'd be closer to where Valencia is, and Valencia would be doing this erratic football that they're doing.
I think they can walk in there and definitely sneak United. I'm not saying they will, but that's what...
I think the possibility is very much there. But I hope that between now and February, they tighten up that D.
Yeah. 2 months away, man. Good point. The Manchester brothers, City, it's looking very favorable for them. Basel.
Yeah, man. City just gonna. That's it.
We'll get Porto next round.
You're gonna have a Real Madrid Champions League run where you play nobodies.
Nobody,
You know
absolutely.
and then like the winner of the Shakhtar Roma.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you're in the final.
Finals. So Shakhtar Roma and Porto Liverpool fill it out. Probably the weakest draws there.
I think the Basel City is like the most lopsided and most
Lopsided.
least interesting are to me Basel City and Bayern Besiktas. Shakhtar Roma might be surprisingly good. I think it has potential because both teams have good offenses and not that good defenses.
You gonna watch it?
Yeah, because I'm gonna go to a bar and watch a bunch of games.
Okay, no doubt.
If you think,
Call
thought
me-
that was the plan, Holmes.
Call me that day.
You understand?
And Porto Liverpool, man, that could be fun too, man. Liverpool with a very good chance to go through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's like Liverpool. It could be. They could blitz Porto. They could get fucked up. It could be a tie. I like this season's Liverpool because you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get.
Yeah, it looks fun, man. It looks like a fun knockout round. Like I haven't felt.
Yeah,
like,
the draw for this season has been better than like quite a few years actually.
It was getting real repetitive. Like they kept getting the same. It was like PSG, Chelsea, Atletico, Real, blah blah blah. Like same squads over and over, dude. Like PSG, Barca, even. Now I'm glad to see PSG and Real and Barca seeing Chelsea again. Nice.
Spurs, Juve is excited.
Yeah, nice.
Come on.
All right, man. Go forward section.
So now you know what to do in February.
Yeah, we can't. No picks on those games, man. 2 months away.
Nah, we don't even know the team.
Hey, fuck that. All right, so forward section, man. Moving on. Awards. Prestige.
Yes, sometimes you have
Due
to
to
tell
the-
people you are good.
Dude of the week. It's going to be
The flying vagina. The Portuguese pussy.
the Church of the Flying Vagina.
The rear pistachio man. Cristiano Ronaldo.
None other than
Yes. Congratulations.
Our first time getting dude of the week.
Yes, he had to win the Ballon d'Or to do it. He went from being 4-1 down in the runnings against Messi to now tying him at 5-5 in Ballon d'Ors. But he had a great season. Congratulations. Please stop doing that celebration. I can't stand you. Your son is a big fan of Lionel Messi. Man of the week.
Yay. Dude of the week, man. Do it. No doubt. Got to give it up, man. He scored a bunch of goals, too. I believe he had a hat trick during the club match and also scored during Champions League.
Yeah, at this point in his career, he's a bit of a stat-padding bitch, though. Like,
Hey, man,
where has he been all season? Okay, you beat Sevilla and then the 5-0.
That's why he's dude of the week, though, and not dude of the half season. Because 4 goals and a Ballon d'Or. Like nobody's beating that this week. Like, that was just icing. All right.
I can be salty. There you go. I don't like that motherfucker or his team.
Yeah. Fuck Real. But yes, let's move on. Goal of the week.
We discussed because big friend of the show who doesn't know us, but we really appreciate him. Mario Balotelli had a really nice goal, and we wanted to give it to that. But alas, I would have to give it to the Jermaine Defoe wicked second goal. And not just how beautiful it is, but how impactful it is, because these are clubs that really need the points, and to get them in such spectacular fashion was amazing. And like you said, he about to be, I can't say the big 4-0 because he's about 4'0". He's about to turn the little 4-0 soon.
Yeah, dude. He like unlike the Willian one, like he knew exactly what he was doing. He caught that shit right off the volley. That shit was beautiful.
William makes it a point to not know what he's doing.
He put one down today. Chelsea with the victory. But in that same match,
No.
we also get our Twat Happen moment of the week. And it goes to
Christian Benteke.
Benteke, a Benteke.
There's a striker, an idiot striker called Christian Benteke.
And how'd that play out, man?
Badly! So they get a penalty. Christian Benteke, who is not even the penalty taker, but even more importantly, hasn't really been healthy for most of the season and just came back, is a man that is known for having low confidence and looking confused a lot, decided this was the moment to convert the coach to Christianity.
This is the moment.
He snatched the penalty, decided to go solo on the mission, and then proceeded to miss it.
I mean, this was a designated taker that he took the ball from.
Yes.
Like, this is not just like,
Nah,
I'm
give
the
it to me.
dude, I'm the,
Nah.
I take him. That dude's
You
like
get to do those
designated.
kind of things where you're 6'5" and like muscular. The guy gives it to you, and apparently the guy that gave up the penalty went and talked to the coach because the coach was like, "I had no fucking idea what he was thinking."
Yeah, he threw him totally under the bus. Redknapp, right?
Huh?
It's not Redknapp. It's what's his name? Fuck is his name? Come on, give it to me. It's an old English coach. Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson,
Yeah, Hodgson. Yeah,
who
yeah,
doesn't, in all honesty, look like he knows much of what he's doing.
yeah. But he's funny.
But he's funny. He's
Like
good
a
for a good gift face.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like a
I
walking-
enjoy watching him on the side of an almost relegated side. Like it,
Yeah,
it
like it's
feels
fun.
appropriate.
He does his thing. He gives funny interviews. He looks like a meme. Like it's awesome.
Parfait. So this week, man, we have a little spin on the Troy Deeney Award. Troy Deeney definitely is getting some love here.
Yes.
But
Big up Troy Deeney.
for show, Manchester Derby. It also morphs a little bit into the Cesc Fabregas Award. Tell us why, Sir Solomon.
Well, let's go through the situation. After victory in Old Trafford against Manchester United, an away victory that essentially, not numerically or scientifically or whatever the fuck they want to say, but essentially kind of, at the very least, puts Manchester City in the front seat by far of the championship, they decided to have a little celebration, as everybody is wont to these days, because what do you see on Instagram and in Twitter all the time? Guys taking team pictures in the showers and fucking posting it, which I don't know why that became a culture, but so they're doing that whole fucking idiotic thing, which you're entitled to do whatever the fuck you want after you just beat a team that called you the noisy neighbors, you know?
Hey.
But our Portuguese nonsense, he decided he wanted to come and tell them to turn it down.
Yep.
At which point,
How'd that go?
well, the guy on Manchester City that spoke Portuguese, a lot more intimidating than the guy on Manchester United that spoke Portuguese. Ederson, who looks like a fucking guy that just broke out of jail for this game, just went after Mourinho. Big scuffle starts. They say more than 15 people involved in the fight. And the funny thing, this is England, so a lot of the security and the police were standing around and watching as this occurred.
Of course.
Lukaku comes in, and it was funny. They said his milk was thrown, and they said maybe it was Lukaku. You know, it was like an own goal or something. You know, but Mikel Arteta, who's famous for clips of Sergio Aguero nutmegging him in training, he got fucking cut above his eye. Nobody wants to talk about it. But in Troy Deeneying the situation, Pep Guardiola said, it was me who told them to celebrate like that. This was a big victory. It was an important move. And I was the one who told them to do it.
Yay.
Pep Guardiola got the Troy Deeney Award. Now,
And
when you
Cesc
take the
Fabregas.
Troy Deeney Award and add milk or any dairy product, pizza, etc.,
And make it a
This-
projectile.
and project it upon somebody's face, it goes and becomes the Cesc Fabregas Award. And whoever threw that milk, thank you.
Yes, thank you for sure. There's something about being the Manchester United manager, isn't there? About getting fucking food thrown at you.
Yes, now you gotta walk around.
Stay in your
like
own
that, just
fucking.
don't.
Stay in your own fucking locker room, son.
Straight up.
Straight up, man. Word up, man. Award section done.
Like, don't tell us how to celebrate. We know. Don't
Hey.
you look at us here? We're good at this shit.
Got this, homie. It's been a minute. Hey. Sergio Aguero, City champion. What up?
Yes, even from the bench.
Hey. All right, man. So moving on, second forward section. A little bit of love here to Miller Lite, man. Love Miller Lite. Shout out to Milwaukee, but Miller Lite soccer. MLS Cup was this week. Toronto in the 2-0 defeat of Seattle in the revenge match of last year's MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Altidore.
That one time, that guy with the thing. Awesome.
It was good, right? Altidore with the goal, man. Total domination by Toronto, man. 22 shots to 7, 11 on target to 2 for Seattle. Dominated possession as well. They scored a 94th minute goal to cap it off. Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore easing their World Cup pain with MLS Cup glory.
Glory. I think that was a good result because if I don't really watch MLS soccer, but looking at the two rosters, they have more game breakers that you could see possibly playing somewhere in Europe than Seattle does. So, between Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore, excellent celebration, saying you're TFC for life. Never leave Canada. Everything you have done outside of that place has been a failure. Just be TFC for life, okay?
For life.
Good.
For life. Hey. All right. MLS Cup, man.
Yes.
Enough.
See you next year, MLS.
Yep.
Or not see you.
All right, man. Upcoming games next week. Preview. Just a reminder, there's Tuesday and Wednesday games. Tuesday games already happened. Watford, motherfucking Chelsea, all victorious. Either way, I felt like it's worth mentioning the West Ham versus Arsenal match. And I felt like it was because the last 3 games have been, for West Ham, have been Manchester City, Chelsea, and Arsenal. And that's just fucking cruel, man. Like,
And I would say they played 2 of them better than anybody has played those 2 teams this season.
pretty much.
And
quite
now
impressive.
they have Arsenal coming up, so I completely agree with you. Very intriguing matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. The other big match there in the EPL is going to be City hosting Tottenham.
Yes. Will City get Kane?
Yeah, probably not. I would not suspect that this is going to be the match that it ends.
What scoreline you think, man?
At home. 3-0.
Woo!
Obliteration, son. Obliteration.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, man, we owe them, dude. They like ransacked us last year once, I think.
I think it's gonna be 1-1.
1-1? Drizzle.
I'm hoping so, man. They need to start.
City's due for a little bit of an explosion, even though they got the Swans in midweek.
Yeah, that's why like the Tottenham result was kind of exciting. Maybe seeing Juventus coming up, they'll get their head right and give them a game. Maybe even steal a victory. But I think if I had to call it right now, Harry Kane and KDB, 1-1.
Hey, no doubt. I also misspoke. Burnley is the victorious team, and Watford actually lost to Crystal Palace. Another win. Woo! Anyway.
Watford, the 3 games or something in a row. They're kind of free falling.
They're free falling a little bit. Crystal
Ever
Palace,
since they started talking about their coach being hired by Everton, they've been free falling.
pretty much Chelsea. Crystal Palace trending up. Haha. Also,
yes, indeed.
just to mention the Spanish leaders, Barcelona hosting La Coruna.
Deportivo La Coruña.
Leganes hosting Real Madrid. And then in the French league, we have Lyon, Marseille.
Boom. Now that's a fucking game.
Sounds like
In
fun.
terms of excitement and fan enthusiasm, it seems like it's going to be a hype game. And both teams have in the forward section some people that can create magic. So, hopefully they'll take breaks from kicking each other around to play football.
And that is game. I feel sorry for the referee, man. He had a good match until we showed up. And thanks for checking Diving for Glory this week. Don't forget we post every Tuesday on iTunes and divingforglory.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at divingforglory. That's FOR, hashtag divingforglory. Follow us, like us, add us. Dive for the love of the game, people. Porciola, Sir Solomon. Peace. Done.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.